If you had walked into that cafe 5 minutes earlier, you'd swear the world had forgotten what courage looked like. The morning air outside Brookfield Café was crisp, but inside, warm sunlight draped softly over the teal countertops and polished metal stools. It was the kind of place where the aroma of cinnamon pancakes usually made strangers smile at each other for no reason at all. But today felt different. At a small table near the window sat a teenage girl in a wheelchair, a thin plaid blanket over her legs, a plate of blueberry waffles steaming in front of her. Her name was Emily Carter, and though her eyes carried a quiet, gentle strength, something in the way she held her shoulders gave away the truth. She wasn't used to being looked at with kindness. Emily had been paralyzed from the waist down since childhood, a spinal condition that turned ordinary tasks into daily battles. But she came to this cafe every Saturday because it was her ritual, her one place that felt normal. Until today. 3 boys at a nearby table watched her, snickering behind their sodas, leaning in like they were planning something. Their laughter, sharp and childish, cut through the soft hum of morning conversations. Emily tried to ignore them. She always tried. But they didn't stop at laughing. One of the boys, tall, with a messy mop of blonde hair, suddenly leaned across the aisle and tapped her plate with the back of his hand. "Oops," he smirked, pretending it was an accident. Emily flinched. The other boys snorted, elbowing each other. Then the blonde boy pushed harder. The plate slid across the table, and crashed to the floor, blueberries splattering across the tiles. The entire cafe froze. Emily's breath caught in her throat. Her hands trembled. Her throat tightened the way it did when she felt humiliation burning its way toward her eyes. But the boys weren't done. "Come on," one said in a mocking tone, "you gonna wheel yourself over there and clean it up." They laughed loudly, the kind of laughter born from arrogance, the kind that said we can do anything we want, and no one here will stop us. And for a moment, it seemed like they were right. People looked away. A couple whispered. The waitress hesitated mid-step, holding a tray of coffee mugs with shaky hands. Not a single person stood up for her. Emily swallowed hard and leaned forward in her chair, trying to reach the fallen waffle with shaky fingers, desperate not to draw more attention. Her throat tightened. Her eyes stung. She wished her mother were here. She wished anyone would say something, anything. She wished she didn't feel so painfully small. A hand suddenly appeared in her field of vision, wrinkled, gentle, steady. It belonged to an older man with a khaki jacket and soft blue eyes. He crouched beside her wheelchair and picked up the broken plate pieces without saying much. His voice was low, almost trembling. "You don't deserve this, sweetheart." Emily blinked, holding back tears. She whispered, "Thank you." But the man's eyes flicked nervously toward the boys. He was kind, but clearly scared. He straightened slowly and took a step back, unsure what else to do. For a moment, the cafe hung between tension and silence. Then, something happened that no one, not Emily, not the bullies, not anyone in that cafe, could have predicted. A deep rumble rolled through the street, low and thunderous, like an approaching storm. The windows of the cafe vibrated faintly. Forks paused mid-air. Chairs scraped quietly as people turned toward the front. More rumbling. Then more. Until the sound grew so loud the conversation in the cafe dissolved completely. Outside, a line of motorcycles, at least 15 of them, turned into the parking lot, chrome glinting under the sunrise. Their engines growled like something alive. The cafe went silent. The boys stiffened. People recognized the emblem on the jackets. Iron Reapers Motorcycle Club. A group with a reputation for being fierce, loyal, and absolutely fearless. Their arrival felt like the air itself grew thicker. The motorcycles shut off one by one, leaving behind an eerie, heavy quiet. Then the front door opened. A massive man stepped inside, tall, broad-shouldered, his beard streaked with gray, tattoos running down his arms like rivers of ink. His brown leather vest was covered in patches, each one telling a story people wouldn't dare ask about. He didn't smile. He didn't even blink. He scanned the cafe slowly. Behind him walked 6 more bikers, each one just as intimidating. The room shrank instantly. Emily's heart pounded. Her palms grew sweaty. The lead biker's eyes moved deliberately across the cafe, the tables, the counter, the people, and finally, the boys. Their smirks vanished. Their bodies stiffened. Their bravado evaporated. Then the biker saw Emily. His expression softened instantly. He walked toward her, his heavy boots echoing like thunder across the tiles. When he reached her, he knelt. Just like the older man had, but this time, the room trembled with power. "You all right, kid?" he asked, voice deep but gentle. Emily nodded weakly. She didn't trust her voice. He glanced at the smashed food on the floor. Then at the boys. His jaw tightened. Very slowly, he stood up and turned toward them. The boys shrank into their booth like scared animals. One of them looked around for an escape path, but the bikers stood in all of them. The lead biker's voice was calm, too calm. "Which one of you thought it was funny to pick on a girl who can't even stand to defend herself?" The blonde boy stuttered, "We didn't, we were just..." "No," the biker said, stepping closer. "You weren't joking. You were trying to feel big by making someone else feel small." The cafe was silent, every eye fixed on the scene. Another biker crossed his arms and added, "Real men don't hurt people who are already fighting harder than any of us." The boys were pale. Terrified. Speechless. The lead biker pointed toward the door. "Get out." The boys scrambled, nearly tripping over themselves as they rushed past the other bikers. But outside, the motorcycles were lined like a wall, forming a narrow path between them. The boys had to walk through the center of it while every biker glared silently at them. Humiliation complete. When the boys were gone, the leader returned to Emily's table. The cafe slowly exhaled. He gestured toward the waitress. "Bring her a fresh meal. Anything she wants. And put it on my tab." The waitress nodded quickly and hurried away. The biker crouched again so he was eye level with Emily. "You didn't deserve any of that," he said softly. "And anyone who tells you you're weak hasn't survived half the battles you face every day." Emily's lips trembled. A tear slipped down her cheek. The biker smiled, a rare, warm smile that softened the hard edges of his face. He stood, unzipped his vest, and placed it gently around Emily's shoulders. "You're one of us now," he said. "Family." Emily covered her mouth with her hand, overwhelmed. For the first time that morning, she didn't feel broken. She didn't feel invisible. She felt protected. She felt seen. She felt strong. Soft applause filled the room. Some people wiped tears. The older man who had helped earlier placed a hand over his heart. The waitress returned with a stack of waffles piled so high they nearly tipped over, topped with strawberries, whipped cream, syrup, and a side of warm cocoa. Emily laughed for the first time that day, a pure, soft laugh that filled the cafe with warmth. The biker tapped the back of her wheelchair lightly. "Keep fighting, kid. And remember, the world's got more good people than bad. Sometimes you just gotta cross paths with the right ones." With that, the Iron Reapers filed out, boots echoing as they stepped through the door. Engines roared back to life, one after another, rising like a song of defiance and protection. The motorcycles rolled out of the parking lot in a perfect line, leaving behind silence and hope. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that even in a world full of cruelty, courage still rises, then take a moment to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Souls Connecting Tales. Your engagement helps us continue spreading stories that heal, inspire, and remind people that kindness still wins. Before you go, tell me in the comments. What would you have done if you were in that cafe? Your words might inspire someone to do the right thing when their moment comes.